The 911 is known for many things: its GT racing program, its consistent styling, its magical rear-engine layout that somehow still works all these decades later. But my personal favorite bit of trivia about the 911 is that it went rallying. And I don't just mean the WRC. I mean through the brutal deserts of Africa in the ultimate quest for Porsche to win the Dakar Rally. Porsche is most known for their sports cars, and therefore most known for their sports car racing. I mean, they've only won Le Mans 19 times across every class of top-tier endurance racing dating back to 1970. The 911 alone is probably the most successful racing platform on the planet, and it has competed in everything from Le Mans to autocross to rallying. In fact, Porsche's first factory outing with the 911 was the Monte Carlo Rally in 1965. They would go on to win the prestigious rally 4 times and win the International Championship of Manufacturers outright, sort of the beta version of the WRC. But out of all of their rallying endeavors, and they had some good success, you don't win an international championship if you're not good, but their true calling was most surprisingly Rally Raid. Porsche had tried a lot of times to win various Rally Raid events, mainly in the WRC's East Africa Safari Rally, with heavily modified versions of the 911 called the ST Rally. These off-road spec 911Ss got wider track with specially designed off-road tires, weight reduction down to just 1,900 pounds, an extra 35 horsepower, and front and rear bash bars. The ST Rally, or STR, was a mild success, with one of the fragile sports cars finishing 5th in 1971, so Porsche did their very precise 300 upgrades and finished 2nd the year after. And then the year after that they DNF'd, and then the year after that they finished 2nd again, and they tried one last time, 1978, with the new 911 SC, and guess what, finished 2nd once again, and decided to focus on other things. For a little while. You see, they couldn't accept leaving defeated and began kicking around a rally program in 1981, this time for the WRC's upcoming Group B rules. But Porsche's smart. They saw Audi's all-wheel drive advancement and knew there was no point in rallying without an all-wheel drive 911. But Porsche had never made an all-wheel drive car, so they complained to Daddy Volkswagen, and Volkswagen subsequently told Audi to help them make an all-wheel drive system. But Porsche didn't want to steal Audi's WRC thunder. They had just won their first championship. And besides, they still had shakedowns to do. Now, most companies do their shakedowns in a test track or a local place around their R&D shop. But Porsche decided to shake down their 911 4x4, officially known as the 953, at the next most logical location, the deserts of Africa, more specifically the recently created Paris-Dakar Rally. Created in 1978 by a man who got lost in the Sahara Desert, it stretched from Paris, France, through the Sahara Desert, across the continent of Africa, and all the way to the coastal city of Dakar, Senegal. Hundreds of competitors battled the elements and the clock in a 6,200-mile trip through some of the most inhospitable terrain anywhere in the world. The 953, though, was not like the old STRs. This was a rally-rated car and a 911 first and foremost. It wasn't just a simple conversion. So the air-cooled flat 6 was improved to 300 horsepower with a lower compression ratio specifically designed to handle lower fuel quality than what the normal 911s are used to. The body was also given armor plating on the underside and a massive roll cage for safety and added strength. Then they fitted large off-road tires and twin rally shocks on each corner. All of that made it very heavy, so Porsche fitted it with lightning bodywork and shatterproof polycarbonate windows, which brought the weight down to just 2,700 pounds. The 953 was then topped off with a ridiculous 270-liter endurance fuel tank and sent to Africa. It was their first time on the continent since the STR 6 years earlier, and with a brand new car, it was sad if not expected to see the number 177 down in 26th place. Then it was surprising to see the number 175 up in 6th position, and it was seemingly impossible that the number 176, driven by mastermind Rene Megge, in the lead. Porsche won the Dakar Rally first try in 1984 with a sports car. That must make the 911 the most versatile automobile on the planet, but at Porsche there was no time for celebrations because, well, they still had a Group B car developed. The 4x4 system worked wonders. Now they just needed the rest. And the body was ready by 1985, as the new 959 was an unlimited budget evolution of a 911 with all-wheel drive, tire pressure monitoring, and 8 onboard computers. And all of that was about to go through a trial by fire. Well, except for the engine. See, the twin-turbo system still needed some tweaking, so the 1985 Dakar-ready 959s had the old 953-based engines installed. And they didn't do so hot. Every single one crashed or broke down, leaving Mitsubishi to take their first of many victories with the Pajero. But as I discussed with their STR program, Porsche doesn't like to leave things unfinished. And they did a full lessons learned on 1985 with a 1986 fully finished 959 program ready to go. It had its twin-turbo flat 6 making a detuned 400 horsepower, again due to low fuel quality, and they did remove the ABS system because it didn't know what to do on the off-road surface. They also tweaked the computer control system for the all-wheel drive, which helped deliver power to wheels that needed it most, depending on one of 4 drive modes that the drivers could select. And then they simply followed the established 953 formula: thick steel plating, off-road tires, twin shocks, and an iconic Rothmans livery for good measure. All of this meant the studied and prepped cars arrived in France for 1986, and after 22 days and over 8,700 miles, the Porsche team scored a 1-2 finish with their backup support car even finishing in 6th. It was a display of utter dominance, one made all the more impressive by the 959's other impressive feats that same year, because it also won its class at Le Mans with the 961 variation, and it set the production car speed record at 196 miles an hour. That's a really good year, winning the Dakar 1-2 production car speed record and Le Mans. Yeah, the 959 was a seriously impressive machine, and it proved what Porsche needed to prove. They were confident enough to tackle the WRC. Unfortunately, just months after the rally ended, Group B ended as well in a horrific fashion with several fatal accidents, and Porsche never got their Group B drive. But Porsche's days in the desert weren't for naught. If anything, it brought in more publicity that the fastest production car in the world just crossed the deserts of Africa faster than off-road racing trucks. It also gave them valuable experience working with the all-wheel drive systems that would later become a common addition in the 911 model range. And now Porsche has taken that all-wheel drive 911 to its most illogical of conclusions, the Dakar. Only 2,500 of these lifted Carrera 4S's will be built, but it's way more than just a lifted Carrera 4S. Because it's got custom off-road tires, an integrated bash bar, and carbon fiber parts from their GT3 in order to offset all of the additional weight from the off-road additions. All in all, the Dakar only weighs 10 kilos more than a normal 4S. Now, it is the slowest 911 since the 953 at 149 miles an hour, but that is because of the tire ratings. And I don't give a damn. It's my favorite 911 in years. I mean, it even has a Rothmans in-style livery as an optional extra from the factory, bearing the 953 number on it. That is awesome and amazing, and I love it. I didn't think the GT3 RS could be beaten as my favorite sports car of the year, but when my favorite sports car model range, makes an off-road rally version of that car that you could, people can technically buy. I think they're all sold out, but you can still technically buy it. I am on board. I mean, what more could you want?